to the Wicomico County Tourism and Civic Center Commission. Resolution number 57-2022 is confirming the appointment of Patty A. Tingle to the Wicomico County Board of Library Trustees. Resolution number 58-2022 is confirming the appointment of Ryan Bass to the Wicomico County Board of Library Trustees. Resolution number 59-2022 is confirming the appointment of Christine Chestnut as a member of the Wicomico County Commission for Women. Resolution number 60-2022 is confirming the appointment of Michelle Neal Bradley, M.A.T., as a member of the Animal Appeals Board.
Entertain a motion from council to approve the consent agenda in reference to the boards and commissions.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The approval of the consent agenda passes. Mrs. Hurley, before you go on, I did want to recognize that we do have our state's attorney, Jamie Dykes, in the room. We do have our library director, Mr. Seth Hirschberger, in the room. We also have members of our Board of Education, G. Malone, President, Mike Murray, Vice President, and we have John Palmer and Tanya Lewis. We're glad to have you all here tonight. Thank you very much.
Okay, next for your consideration is resolution number 61-2022. This is approving the Department of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism's increase to Civic Center room rental rates. And we have Mr. Steve Miller here, Director of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism.
Entertain a motion from council to approve resolution 61-2022.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. I am. Mr. Miller? Yeah, thanks.
You ready?
He's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Good evening. If you could just state your name and your position for the public. Thank you.
Steve Miller, Director of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism. Thank you.
Katie Rouse, Deputy Director of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism.
Questions? Joe, did you have questions?
I was just reading this. It says, whereas the county council has previously authorized the Department of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism to establish Civic Center rental rates for the citizens of Wicomico County. We're not just increasing them for the citizens of Wicomico County, we're increasing them for everyone, correct?
That's correct.
All right. A little bit of wordsmithing there needs to be done, probably.
And the questions, concerns? Mr. Miller, did you have anything? Or Ms. Rouse? Okay. All those in favor of resolution 61-2022 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution passes.
Okay, next is resolution number 67-2022. This is approving the Department of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism's increases to program fees in the fiscal year 23 budget.
Hang on 1 second.
So the increases are in red
Most of them
on
are.
Exhibit A?
Yes. Some of the ones in red are not actually
Need
increases.
a motion.
Okay.
then.
Saying, yeah, before you get started, Ms. Hurley, which resolution are you referencing?
67.
This is resolution number 67-2022. This was added. So the resolution numbers are out of sequence a little bit because it was added after the pre.
Okay, if I could, council, entertain a motion to approve resolution 67-2022.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Larry, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was asking, and she answered it, if the prices in red were the increases.
Yeah, so there's 97 different fees on here. There's 16 that are changes, and then 6 of those are just new programs that we have to include on there because we're charging for them for the first time.
And it looks like a lot of them are staying the same.
They are.
Any other questions? All those in favor of resolution 62-2022 say aye.
Aye.
It's
Opposed?
67.
67.
67-2022 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's
Thanks, Ms.
carried.
Hurley.
Resolution passes.
Okay, next for your consideration is resolution number 62-2022. This is making a supplemental appropriation from contingency for the new liquor license commissioner positions in the amount of $1,437 and amending the fiscal year 22 budget control position document titled Exhibit F to include the 2 additional commissioner positions.
Entertain a motion from council to approve resolution 62-2022.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of Resolution 62-2022, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution passes.
Okay, so next is, the next item for business is Resolution Number 63-2022, approving a utility easement agreement between Wicomico County, Maryland, and Delmarva Power and Light Company for property located on the north side of Naylor Mill Road and binding upon Westwood Drive. And we have Mr. Peyton Matthews here, General Services Supervisor, if there are any questions.
Entertain a motion from council to approve Resolution 63-2022.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Matthews, how are you? Good.
Is this so they can make a left turn lane there?
No, it's got nothing to do with the highways.
It doesn't?
This is strictly to allow Delmarva Power to put their infrastructure in the front of our property. Since it's a raw street in an undeveloped area, each property owner will have to grant easements to allow them to place their infrastructure.
Just one of many, right?
I'm sorry?
We're just one of many?
Yes. Well, right now, at this time, we're the only one until the lots beside us get sold.
All right.
Questions? Any other comments?
Sorry?
Any other comments?
No,
Is this what it's building up to, so they can put that left turn lane in there?
couldn't tell you a thing about the highways or the roads.
Oh, that's right. You're building.
All those in favor of Resolution 63-2022, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution passes. Thanks,
Thanks,
Mr. Matthews.
Okay, next is Resolution Number 64-2022. This is authorizing Court Smart Digital Recording as the sole source vendor for the Wicomico County Circuit courtrooms during the fiscal year 2022. And we have Melissa Leahy here, Circuit Court Administrator, Mr. Nick Rice, our purchasing agent, if there are any questions.
Entertain a motion from council to approve Resolution 64-2022.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
If you could just state your name and your position for the public.
Melissa Leahy, I'm the court administrator for the Circuit Court for Wicomico County.
Good evening. Nicholas Rice, purchasing agent for Wicomico County.
So you're getting Court Smart Digital Recording, correct? Is this like a state mandate?
No, it would not be a state mandate if there were court reporters enough in the world to staff all 6 of our courtrooms. Presently, we have 2 court reporters and 6 active courtrooms, and we are tasked with maintaining a complete and accurate record of any proceedings in the courtroom. So Court Smart has actually been in our courtrooms since 2009. The last refresh of the system was 2014. It's recommended that the system is refreshed every 5 years, so we are overdue for that refresh. Some of that had to do with the timing of a pandemic and a new courtroom. But at this point, the system is aging and in need of an update.
Any questions from council? Okay. Seeing none. All those in favor of Resolution 64-2022, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Mrs. Hurley. Good evening, Mr. Mitchell.
Good evening. This is Legislative Bill 2022-05, which is an act to repeal and adopt the Wicomico County Classification Pay Plan for the purpose of providing certain changes to grades and titles and generally relating to the governance of personnel of the county. In essence, it'll establish a pay grade and title for virtually everything in the county. At this point, it also has Exhibit A, but that may be subject to change if the council so desires.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Entertain a motion from council to approve Legislative Bill Number 2022-05.
So moved.
Second. Need a second.
Second.
Thank you. And discussion. Seeing none. All those, yes.
Before we do our budget amendments, motions?
Well, if you have amendments, we're in discussion. Yes.
Mr. President, I'd like to mention that I do have a list of proposed motions that were as a result of the budget recap sessions that we've had. They are on the council table for council's consideration.
Now, this is for the,
This is just a pay.
this is the pay plan, and you guys already amended the pay plan for the council administrator and the purchasing agent in the grade. The one recommendation was that you add an Exhibit B to this, which would be taking the exhibit from the budget showing the ranges of salaries. So that would be one suggestion that we have, is that you make a motion to add an Exhibit B that shows the pay ranges.
And I believe that Exhibit A is going to be a revised Exhibit A.
Correct. And Exhibit A has been revised with the changes as council has requested, as well as some minor housekeeping changes.
So Exhibit A is on your council table, and then the proposed motions are in the email that you'll see on the council table. And then the proposed Exhibit B looks like this. That's also on your council table.
So we hadn't amended Exhibit F, right?
So that's in the budget. That's Exhibit F.
Oh, so we do that later.
That's in the budget one. This
Okay.
is in the pay and classification. Again, the motions, I don't have a copy of those motions, but I believe one of the motions is to accept an amended Exhibit A and to add an Exhibit B.
Okay.
I believe those are the only changes to this document
Right. Okay.
that I'm aware
And
of.
then we do F in the budget.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, we have two series of recommendations from Mrs. Hurley based on the work sessions. You see the first one with the logo on the bottom?
Yeah.
The one page?
Right.
That'll be the motions that the council had talked about in reference to this specific bill. The second document, which is 2 pages, will be on the budget itself. So I guess what would be in order would be for someone to make a motion. There are going to be 3 motions.
Yes.
So we will take one at a time if there's anyone on, if any council member specifically wants to start that process. Do we have any motions to amend?
I'll do one.
Go ahead, Joe.
Do the first one. Motion to amend Section 2 to read as followed. Section 2, be it further enacted that this bill will not be codified in the Wicomico County Code and can be amended by resolution, bill amendment, or budget bill amendment.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Amendment has been accepted. There are 3 motions. A second motion?
I'll make a motion to
Councilman Ackley?
include and update Exhibit A as proposed by the Acton County Executive, which will incorporate prior amendments made by the County Council.
There's a motion to amend. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Well,
Yes,
I'll just
Bill.
say, I mean, personally, I don't support it because I just think we should be following the Bolton plan and not making those changes.
Yeah, I'm going to say ditto on that.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Motion carries. And there is a third motion has been proposed.
Motion to include Exhibit B titled 2022 Recommended Salary Ranges.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Opposed.
The motion carries. There's 3 motions as been recommended from the prior work session. Are there any other motions or discussion? Yes.
Who opposed? Because there was more than one. I just need
Okay, on the last one?
Both of them.
Excuse me?
this one and the previous one.
Okay, on the second motion, those are those who are in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Those opposed?
Opposed.
We have 3 opposed. Okay. On the last motion, you need that one as well? All those in favor of the last motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
And the chair votes aye. 4-3.
Same.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in, let me see, make sure, yeah, we want to get up ourselves. All those in favor of legislative bill 2022-05 as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, getting ahead of ourselves. What we're doing now is we're taking a vote on the actual legislative bill as amended.
With the 3 amendments.
Okay, so entertain a motion to approve legislative bill 2022-05 as amended.
Aye.
Do I have to say aye again?
Yes, you do. But you can't vote twice.
You can say nay.
Those opposed?
Opposed?
The chair votes aye. So legislative bill number 2022-05 as amended passes. Appreciate the input. Thank you, Ms. Hurley, on that. Next item on the agenda, legislative bill number 2022-06.
This is an annual budget and appropriation bill of Wicomico County, Maryland, to adopt the county budget consisting of the operating capital budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023, the governmental and enterprise fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023, the anticipated grant funding budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2022, the FY23 position changes budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023, the FY23 pay scales for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023, the FY23 proposed capital budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023, and to appropriate funds for all expenditures for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2022, and ending June 30, 2023, as stated thereafter in the bill. And I'll note there are also proposed amendments pursuant to your various work sessions.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Entertaining a motion from council to approve legislative bill 2022-06. Entertain a motion to.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Second, a motion second. Discussion. As
This is where we make all the motions, right?
this is where we make all the motions.
Yeah, this is the Exhibit F and all the motions.
So we will do this one at a time. So let's, however you all want to handle it, we know what they are. We know that each motion is going to require a motion in a second. So are there any motions anyone would like to make as far as amending legislative bill 2022-06?
I'll do the first one if you'd like.
Thank you, Joe.
Motion to reduce General Fund Department 46 contingency transfer reserves by $70,000 at the recommendation of the acting county executive to add a new line item titled Contingency in General Fund Department 34 Public Health in the amount of $70,000.
So motions are second?
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. I believe we have a second motion. Jump right in, whoever wants to.
Motion to amend Exhibit F, position control document to change the pay grade for the following positions as follows. Purchasing agent, M44 to M43, council administrator, M40 to M41.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Chair votes aye. It's 4-3 in favor of the motion. I think this is in reference to the next one is in reference to Exhibit F.
Okay, I'll do it. Motion to amend Exhibit F, position control document to include a $20,000 cap on salary increases for the following positions. Position title, purchasing agent, current salary $70,000, new salary $90,000, difference of $20,000. Deputy Director of Public Works, current salary $80,628, new salary $100,628 with a difference of $20,000. Head of Recreation and Parks and Tourism, $97,000, new salary $117,000, excuse me. Head of Recreation and Parks and Tourism, current salary $97,554, new salary $117,554, and a difference of $20,000. Deputy Director of Corrections, $88,100, new salary $108,100 with a difference of $20,000. Deputy Director of Corrections, $80,725, New salary, $100,725 with a difference of $20,000. That's the motion.
That's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, but I disagree with this. It's a totally arbitrary number, not based on any kind of data whatsoever, and doesn't agree with the study done by Bolton.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion to amend Exhibit F, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Larry, I didn't get your...
Oh, I said aye.
Aye, okay. Chair votes aye. Motion to amend Exhibit F passes 4-3.
And I would like to make the comment after that motion that those salaries are a decrease from what the recommendations were. They were much higher. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There is a motion to, from the work session, the next motion would be to amend Exhibit B. Well, if you would like to state the motion, certainly.
Okay, motion to amend Exhibit B. General fund expenses is to reduce salaries for the following departments. Purchasing General Fund Department 10 in the amount of $13,509. Public Works General Fund Department 24 in the amount of $588, 1/3 of $1,764. Roads General Fund Department 50 in the amount of $588, 1/3 of $1,764. Corrections General Fund Department 21 in the amount of $13,985, and to add $28,670 at the recommendation of the acting county executive to the General Fund Department 46 contingency transfer reserves.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to amend Exhibit B, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Chair votes aye. 4-3, motion to amend Exhibit B passes. The next motion we have is to, again, amend Exhibit B again. This is to reduce the benefits. The first one was to reduce the salaries. This is to reduce the benefits so that it's in sync.
Motion to amend Exhibit B, General Fund expenses to reduce benefits for the following departments. Purchasing, General Fund Department 10 in the amount of $1,033. Public Works, General Fund Department 24 in the amount of $44. Roads, General Fund Department 40 in the amount of $44. Corrections, General Fund Department 21 in the amount of $1,069. And to add $2,190 at the recommendation of the acting county executive to the General Fund Department 46 transfer reserves.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion to amend Exhibit B, General Fund expenses, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Chair votes aye. That's 4-3 in favor of the motion to amend. There's 3 more motions that we discussed in the work session in reference to Exhibit B. There's 1 more for C, 1 for G, 1 for F, and 1 for E.
Okay.
Motion-
You can do the next one. Go ahead.
Motion to amend Exhibit B, general fund expenses to reduce General Fund Department 30, Board of Education operating expenses in the amount of $1,021,958 at the request of the acting county executive to add $1,021,958 to the General Fund Department 46 contingency transfer reserve to capital expense transfer.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
The motion is second.
May I say one thing?
Yes, please.
So I understand there's discussion about that $1 million and the usage of it, and that's possibly coming. We need the words "for capital expense transfer" to come out of there if we want flexibility to use it in another way. So you can leave the rest of the motion, but you need to take the last 4 words, "for capital expense transfer," sorry, off the list, or we don't have flexibility with that motion.
Will you accept that?
I accept
Why
that.
do you want flexibility? Isn't this targeted to go toward Mardella?
So there has been discussion, and about a potential change to that Mardella. So it still, if you can do it either way by taking those 4 words out. If you leave those 4 words in, it has to go to the capital transfer. If you take those 4 words out, it can be potentially split up.
I ask for input from we have all the Board of Education folks here.
So Pam, just so I'm clear, so you're saying that it can be transferred to other areas of the Board of Ed?
It can be used for other things for the Board of Ed.
Okay,
But
so
it would
it's used
have
with
to
the
be,
Board of Ed.
it would have to come back to council to be spent for the Board of Ed. But it would go into, if we take those 4 words out, it would go into contingencies and allow us to spend it in either the way that we have that resolution coming up in 66, or we could do it in another way. I have been asked to provide guidance as to how to do that. That's how you would do that, is by taking those 4 words off the motion.
And you've been asked by,
The council president and the county executive.
you okay with that, Mr. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the impetus of that.
We contacted, had discussion with the council president regarding some flexibility or nimbleness regarding the $1 million. If you recall, in the work session, last work session that we had, one of the options was to have put the $1 million in a contingency.
Use your mic, John. I don't know if they can hear it. Thanks.
One of the options was to put the $1 million in a contingency account in the event that the Board of Education came to us with an ask during the course of the year. Given the preceding work session that we had with Mr. Tunis, in the event that something came up with the Board of Education during the course of this year, such as hardening the schools or something that they required of us, we wanted to be able to have a contingency account. That doesn't affect the funding mechanism. It affects the possible funding mechanism for Mardella. However, not to any degree that Mardella will not be funded.
You mentioned the potential, Mr. Tunis. Does that mean that we get the first batch of shields free and then the county pays more?
There's that possibility we could do that, or other items. By moving it out, this motion, by moving it out of the Board of Education, it does not then become our MOE, does not become our maintenance of effort number, but it does allow us the flexibility, as discussed, to either reduce the amount we borrow, which is a resolution that's on the agenda later, or it allows us to purchase items for the Board of Education and donate them to the Board of Education in what form, through collaboration with them, we think the group thinks is the appropriate use of those funds.
I guess I instigated this a little bit, so maybe I can explain it a little better.
There was nothing ahead of time planned in any way in reference to Mr. Tunis whatsoever. What he presented tonight is what he presented.
I didn't even know Mr. Tunis was going to be here. But anyway, after what happened in Texas, and we had this $1 million that we were going to pay down to bond with, correct? That's what we were gonna
Reduce
do.
the amount we bond.
Reduce the amount we were going to bond. I had a suggestion that maybe we could use some of this money, not all of it, some of it, and talk to the Board of Ed and the Sheriff's Department about if we needed to, and they were going to come up later on and talk to us about it, hardening the schools with some of this money. So that's where this came from.
So again, taking those 4 words out still allows us to do the resolution at the end as written, or allows us to amend that resolution and use these funds still within the general fund. So my recommendation is those 4 words come off.
For the record, Mr. President, I just want to say that I still believe that this $1,021,958 should be a part of our maintenance effort. This should be spent in our schools, and that's how we should be lifting it, not for a capital expense. If it goes to Mardella and lowering a debt, I guess that's better, at least it's staying within education, but I still believe we need to start paying more on our own side.
The terminology, flexibility, it gives me a little bit of heartburn, because if we put it in the contingency, and almost a year down the road, it can be spent anywhere.
Contingency can only be spent with council approval.
Right, but everyone on the council next year may forget that it was earmarked for the schools.
No. The earmark for the schools.
again, it goes in the contingency account. It can go in either account with or without those 4 words, because, or without those 4 words, it can go in contingency or it can go in transfers, because that's all within the same department. So again, we have a resolution later on. I'm trying to allow council to have that discussion on that resolution at that point in time, and by doing that, you take out these 4 words.
I guess I'll ask a question, just, I mean, I don't want to keep beating this to death, which we're doing a pretty good job of, but we have the superintendent of schools sitting here. I mean, are you all okay with that? If you are, then I'm fine with it, so, all right.
If they're okay, I'm fine.
Okay, so will you accept that as a friendly amendment? Will you change your amendment to remove those 4 last words?
Yes, but just to be clear, I wanted, my suggestion was to give this money back to the taxpayers, but yes, I will accept that change.
Okay, and the second is okay with that still? We're still okay with the second. So the motion's still on the floor with those, the last 4 words struck. As we can continue with the basic discussion on the motion. Seeing none. All those in favor of motion to amend Exhibit B, General Fund Expenses to reduce General Fund Department 30, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Next motion.
Motion to amend Exhibit B, General Fund Expenses to reduce General Fund Department 06, Community Promotions in the amount of $500,000, and to amend Exhibit A, General Fund Revenue to reduce American Rescue Plan revenue by $500,000 at request of the acting county executive.
There's a motion. Second.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion.
What was the, just for quick refresher, what was this?
This was the $500,000 potential program for sewer
Septic
or septic systems, which council did not appear to be in favor of.
Discussion.
So what does this do?
This eliminates that fund of money. The money is still in there for us to continue moving forward with the water and sewer plan and working with our engineering consulting firm, but it does not allow us to create a plan to help Wicomico County residents if they have a failing septic system. Council was more interested in us pointing them to other resources that might be available within other areas besides the county budget.
For the record, this was going to be paid for by the American,
Yes.
not by county taxpayers, but by
Correct.
the U.S. taxpayers.
The overall taxpayers for the country, yes.
Yeah, it would have gone towards investment in Wicomico.
Correct.
Gotcha.
I think what we were trying to do, Josh, was to, we would have felt more comfortable if the $500,000 had gone towards the water and sewer plan, implementing that, such as, a wastewater authority or a standalone facility, as opposed to actually putting money out for individual septics and, calling the winners and losers on that. Any other discussion? All those in favor of motion to amend Exhibit B, General Fund Expenses to reduce the General Fund Department 06, say, I'm sorry, motion to amend Exhibit, I'm correct. General Fund Department 06, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries 6-1. Joe?
Okay, motion to amend Exhibit B, General Fund Expenses to add at the request of the acting county executive, $8,612 to General Fund Department 16, Liquor License Board to amend Exhibit A, General Fund Revenue to increase use of prior year fund balance at the request of the acting county executive in the amount of $8,612.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion, second. Discussion.
Made the motion, I can't second.
All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We have 6, 1 absent.
Motion to amend Exhibit C, Governmental and Enterprise Funds, at the request of the acting county executive to reduce Fund 52 in the amount of $505,000 in both revenue and operating expenses.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion, second. Discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6 aye, 1 absent.
Motion to remove Exhibit G, 2022 recommended salary range steps.
Motion second.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion.
I can't remember what,
Exhibit G is the pay ranges that we now just attach to the pay and classification study. So to have them have it in two places, it makes more sense to have it attached to the original classification plan instead of having it in both.
the one I don't like.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
This is a
Yeah,
no for you, though.
the one
One of the
that, the one
many.
that you're not thrilled about, yes.
All right, just want to be consistent.
Amen.
Amen.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
That's 5, the chair votes aye. 5 yes, 2 nay.
Motion to include a new updated Exhibit F, position control document, as proposed by the acting county executive, which will incorporate prior amendments made by the county council.
Motion second? Second. Motion second. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.